What's good, everyone? Welcome to another reading. We've got a love reading today. Your favourites, I know. Don't get too excited. I know. So yeah, there's not really much of an intro needed for this one. Probably like a love update. Remember, if you're not in a relationship, this is for those who can just play off the masculine, feminine energy. So if you're not in a relationship, just see this as your masculine and feminine side and the relationship between those two. And then obviously for anyone out there who's dating, who's not in a serious relationship, this could be talking about someone coming into your life in the future or coming into your life soon. So as always, pile number 1, pile number 2 and pile number 3. Feel free to pause the video and I'll get stuck into pile number 1s. Right, pile number 1, sorry for the little delay there. I'm so used to saying that. Here's an abstract reading. And obviously, this isn't today. Okay, so what we have here, I guess it is abstract in its cartoony form. It's quite a difficult thing to draw, just randomly actually, but I think I did all right. Can I get a round of applause, pile ones? No. Can I get some likes in the comments, pile ones? Okay. Um, we've got here basically a guy drawing a woman. It's like an artist drawing a woman. She could be naked, could be a little bit like, what's it, Jack and Rose, is it, from the Titanic? Could have the names wrong. But yeah, there's clearly this dynamic here. And I think something that's quite interesting that I'm gonna kind of take, I'm gonna kind of pull apart both characters here. There's something that these two characters share in common. And the thing that they share in common is that they are actually both in the moment of what they're doing. So the guy here is focused on actually the drawing. Although he's focusing on her to draw her, he's focused on the drawing. And the female character here, or the feminine character, she is focused on this pose. She's actually not even looking at this artist. She's looking away from the artist. So she's very much they're almost both in their Leo energy. And they're just doing their thing. They're in focus. So that's one thing that they share in common. Let's kind of take apart what they have differences. So obviously, if you're the masculine watching this or the feminine watching this, we're kind of just explaining the dynamic here. The guy seems to I found this really interesting how he's positioned himself to draw with his leg up on this stool. It reminds me of, well, for one, it could be like almost like showing off. Like, I can draw this in any position at all. But I'm also getting a little bit like this masculine energy kind of has just a bit of a different quirky way of doing things. You know, one could even say, like when I'm holding my pen, sometimes people say, because I hold it like this sometimes too, or maybe most of the time. And it's something that doesn't really, it's something that doesn't really click in my head, but other people seem to find it fascinating. It's like this dude here, he's kind of in this weird position to paint or to draw, and it's kind of oblivious to him, but someone coming into the room would be like, why the hell are you drawing in that position? And he's just doing his thing. So that's another thing about this character. I feel like the masculine knows what he's doing. So if you don't consider yourself an artist, just see how that fits in your life, like whatever you do for work. I think Spirit is kind of just giving some confirmation on you're pretty confident in what you do, you know? So onto the feminine energy. Yeah, it's like they both share this confidence. It's the word that's coming through. I'm also getting possibly that the feminine energy here, some of you might not be able to relate to this, but it feels like there's something kind of like, see, the word isn't pure, but it's similar to pure. It's like, do you know what this word came up in another reading recently? And please put it in the comments, pile number ones. You know when someone is, I was using the word cuddled. It's not cuddled. But you know when someone is kind of kept safe. I know it sounds like cuddled, but there's a certain word, and I don't know why it just doesn't want to come off my tongue. And it's not curdled. I don't think it's curdled either. That's when something curds, that's like milk curdling. I'm sure there's a word like that which I just can't seem to think of. I've got this vibe here which is quite unique, and like I said, it might not apply to you all out there, but it reminds me of the energy of someone who is uh, kind of curdled, or whatever that word, cuddled. It's not that word either. Like due to their kind of wealth, that's the energy that I'm kind of getting here for some reason. So it's like, and I don't know, you might not even be able to, you might not even see it in yourself, pile number ones. If you're watching this, it's like you might not realize that you are that person when you are, but, and that's all perspective, obviously, isn't it? Because anyone who's watching this could go to a harsh environment anywhere in the world and realize that they are privileged of some sort. But yeah, you could say that this character has a sense of purity to their, because of their privilege, because their wealth has been able to protect them. So it's, do you know what's really funny about this is the more that I'm saying it, it's actually got more of that Titanic vibe to it than I originally thought, because I think that's the same story of Jack and Rose in the Titanic. I think she's like a wealthy guy and Jack is just a hard worker from the basement. And they hit it off. So it's that story. Part ones. We've done full circle. But that's beautiful as well, because kind of Spirit gave me the answer from the start, but I just didn't. I, I guess I'm not a huge fan of Titanic or whatever, so I didn't really process what was going on. But that is the story, yeah. That's the story we've got here. I might add though that the characters feel very different. So if you're listening to this and you don't really connect with those two characters in the story, I'm getting the vibe here that they're very different in the way that they are, or I should say the way that you are, or in this dynamic, So don't get too carried away with um, it's. I've got, obviously it's like Leonardo DiCaprio. Is it Kate Winslet? That's probably someone completely different. But remove those characters from your head, because even in this drawing, there's a completely different energy going on there. So yeah, just to summarize pole ones, that's the overall energy. I feel like just think about that dynamic in the Titanic, and I think that's something that you are experiencing here, in your relationship or in your love life, or in your love life with yourself. Remember, that can be touching on the fact of your masculine energy being this kind of wild-hearted, content with life type character, and your feminine being a bit bougie. So if you enjoyed the reading part ones, please do remember to like, comment and subscribe. Check out the If You Pause website, ifyoupause.com, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Okay, part number 2 is, so if we're picking up any noisy neighbours. I swear sometimes when I do these readings, any readers out there, I'm not sure if you can relate to this, but like whenever you start cracking open a reading, sometimes it just feels like, just when you're starting to do it, that's when your surroundings want to start listening or interrupting the reading. It's like, can't make that shit up. Like no noise in the whole day. And when you start busting out the readings, that's when like it feels like eyes just come upon your reading, doors start knocking, neighbours start walking around. It's like crazy. But hey, we don't let those things stop us. Okay, I'm just sitting on the energy. Oh my gosh, I've just realised this is the funniest shit ever. Okay, this isn't the best drawing I've ever done in my life, forgive me. But this is fucking really funny. And excuse this patch here, that is clearly just my damp hand. It's so freaking hot. That's just literally like a wet patch. But ignore that. Gosh, I've got to just say this because it's literally a continuation from pile number ones. And you know I don't normally give away what's going on in other piles, pile number twos, but there's Titanic vibes going on here. And I don't even really like that movie. Like, if someone said to me, let's watch Titanic now, I'd be like, oh, really? Fuck. Any other movie, please. Especially with that savage ending. Where the chick's like on the board of wood and she don't even move over for Jack. Just lets him sink to the bottom of the ocean. Oh, fuck that. That love was not worth it. God damn it. Shit. I guess if you're about to die, then it would be a nice way to die. No, it wouldn't. What a horrible ending. Shit. Part number two is don't get worried. I don't think you're coming to the end of your life or any masculines watching this be thinking. Bear with me one second. Anyone who's a fan of Titanic will probably be losing their marbles right now. Like, oh damn, I love that movie. I ain't the biggest fan of that movie. How can you even enjoy that movie when you know that it's got a fucked up ending? Like shit. Like shit. Nah, give me the Matrix any day. So pile number two, this is a continuation from reading number one. You might want to check it out, but really, only if your intuition is telling you to do so. I just got to mention it because it was literally a continuation from pile number ones. But like I said, don't go there if you don't feel like your intuition is leading you there. This reminds me obviously of the scene in the Titanic where, you know, obviously this character is quite a bit bigger, or at least he's got some huge ass arms in comparison to the female or feminine energy. Is the scene where, you know, they're on the balcony at the front of the ship, and I think it's the Titanic, I hope it is, because there's a clear link there. And yeah, there's just this scene of I think the positive that we can take away from this in terms of a relationship is I think part number two's this is definitely representing some kind of blissful moment, because when you think about it, like I said, I'm not the hugest fan of the movie, but when I think about it, that scene is incredibly iconic. There's the scene with the the hand on the glass window. That's iconic. Obviously, the death of Jack is iconic, being on the board, that wooden board or whatever it is. That's iconic. And yeah, anyways, like maybe there's some more, but when I think of the movie, uh, it's like Spirit is giving me here like checkpoint. This is a checkpoint period. So pole number two is if you're watching this, if you're not in a moment of like bliss, Spirit is kind of letting you know that like really embrace this, really enjoy this, because this is one of your moments where you can really, like it's like that iconic moment in the movie. You'll look back at moments, you'll look back at this moment, what you're going through, and be like, wow, I'll always remember that for the rest of my life. That will be something that holds, that sticks. So I'm not sure if that's making sense, pile number two. This isn't really about separating the two characters here, the masculine and the feminine. As you can probably tell, it's like if you are single watching this, this is a really good example of how they're almost merged together. It's really playing on that whole yin yang energy of being one person, actually. But for people who are in a relationship or heading into one, there's definitely something where Spirit is nudging you on the shoulder and saying, like, embrace this fully, remember this, because this is a highlight. This is the part of the movie which is, that not just the calm before the storm, but the beautiful sunset, the 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 height before the fall. And I say that in a way which is like, you don't have to see that fall in necessarily death or a really bad situation, but at least a moment where you're going to have some form of comparison, you know? I don't know why as well, but Spirit is giving me like the vibes of a night out, which is very different to this kind of Rose and Jack scene. But these two characters could almost be like dancing, and I'm getting the vibe here of a night out, and I'm getting reminders of like some of my younger years where like there's a part of us as we get mature as adults where we hang on to some of our younger playful years, like hard nights out and stuff like that. Like for me, it was when I was at university. You can't recreate like for anyone in the UK, like the freshers period of when you first start university. There's just something very unique about it, and you kind of hold on to it. And in many ways, you sometimes try and recreate that as the older you get, knowing full well that that was one thing to experience and it was just what it was. You can't take it back, you know. When you get older and you try and put yourself back into that environment, you just you become the oldie in the young people scene, and it's just not cool. You've got to let it go. So there's these kind of messages for you, pile number two, which hopefully are kind of touching on some of the energies which you're currently understanding, figuring out, and appreciating. So that's your reading, pile number twos. If you liked it, please do remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Sorry for the wait, pile threes. Multitasking. Forgive me, just pausing on the energy, see what we've got for you. so focus there. Completely lost focus. There you go. It's a really cute one. Again, sorry for the my dampness of my hand there. It's really hot at the moment. Just having to explain that in some of my readings to people, which is a little bit awkward, but hey, it's the reading what counts. And I'm drawing that flat, but this could almost be like on grass as well. For some reason, I'm getting so getting a bit of a husky throat as well. So yeah, this could be like possibly like a park setting for some reason. I'm feeling really what's important here, pile number 3, is actually the position. So there's if there was a theme to this reading, it would be that, so yeah, where you can see that these hands are about to join for one, but it's very much got this vibe of getting on each other's level. That would be the summary of this reading. In terms of love, you're getting on each other's level. And yeah, I think that's beautiful in itself. So it would be the equivalent of if someone was upset and someone's kind of standing up, you come down and meet them at their level. If someone is happy and then they're unhappy, you come up, you bring the other person up and meet them at their level. It's, maybe not the best way to explain it, but at least in terms of illustration, that's what this drawing is trying to convey. And like I said, the positioning of these characters kind of express that, and like I said, this really is energetic because it's quite hard to put it into words, but there's maybe just pause the video, pile number 3, and just sit on, I'm almost getting now like, the infinity sign. Which is like an 8. On its side. I'm getting that here, if that makes sense. So there's something very symbolic, something very special about this crouching and meeting each other on each other's level. So in terms of the masculine energy, I don't know, I don't think this is one to do with like me going into detail of each character, because it's much more to do with what I just said there. It's coming into level with each other. But what I would say is that, gosh, it's from both characters really. There's a sense here of like maturity. So that would be the first word that comes through, maturity. And funnily enough, actually, I would say strength. These two characters feel strong to me, and I'm getting earthly signs. So what's that? Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, if I'm correct. So it's very much got that kind of vibe. I'm getting a touch of Aquarius for some reason coming through. Not really getting fire signs here. So possibly more earth, earth and air energy that might relate to you or your partner. or this might be talking about the energies within yourself. So, as I said in the introduction, this could be relating to your masculine and feminine energy coming into balance, meeting each other halfway. So yeah, this was a short and sweet one, Pal Freeze, but I don't think much else is needed because it's all in what I just said there with the almost the posture. You might want to look into might be a weird thing to say, but into like crouching postures because there's something there to do with. Yeah, it's really to do with the posture here. It's really to do with like I was getting from spirit, getting from spirit there as well, like sitting down with yourself, sitting down with yourself, sitting down with your loved one. I'm getting, if you're in a relationship, first you must sit down with yourself in order to sit down with your partner. And I'm getting like, how would you want to be spoken to if someone was telling you what you're trying to tell to them, for example? So we're playing on empathy here as well. Yeah, there's wisdom in that for everyone, I believe. Kind of treat people how you would like to be treated yourself. You know, I'm saying that out loud, and I've still got some lessons to learn there. So, Pal Freeze, that's your message. If you liked it, please do remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the If You Pause website, ifyoupause.com, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.